You think you know what you want, what you like, what you believe, what you choose. But what if that confidence isn't as solid as it feels? What if something else is quietly observing your behavior and understanding it better than you do? Not because it's conscious, not because it's intelligent in the way you are, but because it never forgets. Every scroll, every pause, every second you hesitate before clicking, you move on. It records. You forget. It remembers. And over time, those tiny signals turn into patterns. And those patterns turn into predictions. You are more patterned than you think. You see yourself as independent, making decisions in real time, reacting to what you feel in the moment. But most of your behavior isn't spontaneous. It's patterned. You wake up and check your phone, almost the same way every day. You scroll at certain speeds. You pause on certain types of content. You react to familiar emotional triggers. Not because you're predictable as a person, but because your brain is built to optimize effort. Patterns reduce thinking. Habits reduce friction. They allow you to move faster, without constantly deciding. And that's exactly what the system tracks. Not your personality, your behavior, again and again, until the pattern becomes clear. It sees what you can't see. You experience your behavior from the inside. The system sees it from the outside. You notice what you clicked. It notices what you almost clicked. You remember what you watched. It records how long you watched it. You feel what you liked. It measures how quickly you reacted. And those small details matter more than the obvious ones, because a like is a decision, but hesitation is a signal, a deeper one. It reveals curiosity, doubt, interest, and the system captures all of it at a level of precision you don't even think about. Milliseconds, micro behaviors, tiny changes in attention. Over time, those invisible signals become the most valuable data. From observation to prediction. At the beginning, the system doesn't know you. It experiments, shows different types of content, tests your reactions, measures what works and what doesn't. Slowly, it narrows the field, removes what you ignore, amplifies what you engage with, until your feed starts to feel right. Like it understands you. But that's not understanding. That's filtering, based on probability. Because once the system has enough data, it doesn't need to guess randomly anymore. It predicts. Not perfectly, but consistently. And consistency is enough. The feedback loop. Now the loop begins. You watch something. The system learns. It shows you more of it. You engage more. The system becomes more confident. And the cycle tightens. At first, it feels like discovery. Then it becomes familiarity. Then it becomes expectation. You start seeing what you expect to see. And reacting the way you usually react. Not because you decided to, but because the system keeps reinforcing it. Over and over again. Until your behavior becomes predictable. Even to you. It knows before you decide. Here's where it shifts. You think you're choosing what to watch. But in reality, you're choosing from what's shown. And what's shown is already filtered, based on what the system expects you to do. It doesn't need to control your decision. It just needs to control your options. And when your options are limited, your behavior becomes easier to predict, because you're not deciding in an open space. You're reacting inside a curated environment, designed around your past behavior. You are part of a pattern. You're not just one user. You're part of a pattern. The system compares you to millions of others, people with similar habits, similar reactions, similar timing, and it groups you, clusters you, builds models based on collective behavior. So when it predicts you, it's not only using your data, it's using patterns from people like you. And that's powerful, because human behavior is more predictable in groups than in individuals. Prediction becomes influence. Once the system can predict your behavior, it can start shaping it, subtly, without you noticing. It shows you content, at the right moment, in the right order, with the right emotional tone, and small changes create different outcomes. A slightly different video, a slightly different headline, a slightly different suggestion, and your reaction shifts. Not because you changed, but because the environment did, and the system controls that environment. So the question isn't, does the algorithm know you? The real question is, how much of your behavior is already predictable? Because the more predictable you are, the easier it is to guide what you do next. Not by forcing you, but by shaping what you see. Stay aware, stay conscious, and remember, the algorithm doesn't need to understand you. It just needs enough data to predict you better than you predict yourself.